Geeks for Geeks has a challenge for you, the 390 challenge. Choose what you want to learn in 2024 and aim to complete at least 90% of the course in the next 90 days. And if you do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course. We believe you can do that. Now all you got to do is commit to your success, commit with Geeks for Geeks. Do that, you get back 90% of what you paid for the course.
Okay guys, we are live. So hey everyone, I'm Viraj Jain, your mentor at Geeks for Geeks, and today we are going to build a project using Next.js and TypeScript. The project is basically a shopping cart application which is useful for learning basic tools. Like we are going to use Redux for this specific video, and those who haven't watched my Redux video of this specific playlist, TypeScript playlist, can definitely go to the channel GeeksforGeeks development channel, and there you would find my TypeScript Next.js playlist. There you can go for the Redux tutorial so that you understand what's basically the purpose of Redux. And today guys, we're going to implement this practically. I have built a very simple UI as well as a very simple cart page so that you can understand how things really work in an e-commerce. Okay, so let me just show you with this example. I hope my screen is also, yes, my screen is also visible. So you can see that this is a normal home page where you can just create some products and different kind of things just like Amazon. But yeah, let me just take you to the product page. So you can see, suppose this is your product page, and right now you can see that my cart is empty. You can just notice the number. Okay, number is right now 0. If I click on add cart, you can see that the number is now 1. Again add cart, you can see now number is 2. So add cart, add cart. So you can see I have added some products, right? Add some products into my cart. Now here, if I take you to the cart, you can see inside my cart we basically have some set of products here along with their prices, right? So this is suppose your cart, and you can definitely make a better UI. I just made it so that you can understand the purpose of Redux here. Okay, so you can see that here we have those products just now which we added. Okay, so now if I want to just increment the quantity, you can see that now I can increment the quantity also. Okay, you can see that the quantity is also incremented. Suppose if I go back to home page, right now you can see this is product 4. Okay, suppose if I go to home page, and if I go to product 4, if I click on add to cart again. Okay, so now let's see what happens. So now you can see that the quantity has become 9 for product 4. Okay, so that's how it really works, and you can see this is the application. Now suppose if I want to delete any product, if I want to delete this product, you can see I can delete this by clicking the delete button. Okay, so that's how things are really working, and this is a simple cart application which would allow you to understand the concept of Redux as well as how you can create different kind of things for an e-commerce platform. Okay, this is a shopping cart section of an e-commerce platform. Okay, so e-commerce is really big, but this is a short section which is really useful when you are creating an e-commerce platform. That means from one page I am sending sharing data across my whole application. You can see from my products page, if I click anything here, first of all navbar would be updated. Also my cart page would also be updated. So you can see multiple things are happening. Why? Because of Redux. Okay, so we're gonna understand everything today, and please watch my Redux tutorial so that you know what's exactly Redux. Okay, I have explained this Redux in the same TypeScript playlist. What you can do is you can just check out the Geeks for Geeks development channel. There you would find the playlist of TypeScript and Next.js. Please watch the whole playlist, but to be specific, you can watch the TypeScript tutorials, then you can watch the Next.js tutorials, and there also you can learn about Redux part, which I have covered recently. Okay, so that would clear a lot of things for you all. So today we are going to implement Redux inside this. Okay, one more thing guys, before continuing, I'm going to mention about Geeks for Geeks 390 challenge. So only a few days are left. After that this challenge would end. So it's like if you purchase any course in the month of January and you finish 90% of the course within the next 90 days, so you get 90% of that amount as a refund. Okay, so you can check out these courses. Some of the good courses which I would like to mention are, first of all, DSA to development. This would teach you both DSA and development and some extra topics which are are required altogether for your job selection. And then the second is FSRNL, that is full stack development with MERN. Okay, so these two are really great, and I have personally checked these, so I am referring this. That's you can check out all others also if you want. There are a lot of courses here, and each of them has this 390 discount. Okay, so now I'll come back to my GitHub profile. So guys, if you want to get the source code of today's class, which we're gonna discuss, today's project would be uploaded into my GitHub profile. What you need to do is you just need to visit github.com/viraj014. Here what you need to do is you just need to check out my repositories. Also guys, you can follow me here. You can check out my Instagram or LinkedIn to follow me. If you have any doubts, you can mention there also. Now if I go to the repositories, today's source code will be available where? Today's source code would be inside this TypeScript Next.js GFG repository. Okay, here I'm gonna upload the complete source code. You can just go to Next.js codes, and here today's source code would be available. Okay, so do check out this one, and at the end also I'm gonna mention this while uploading the source code. Right now code is not uploaded, but at the end of this video I'm gonna upload the complete source code. Okay, now let's continue with our project. So first of all guys, I'm gonna create a very fresh project, and for that what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to this Next.js codes which we were working on previously. I'm just gonna go here and right click and open with code. Okay, so now I've just started VS Code. Please install VS Code and Node.js. That's something which we have used in the previous videos again and again. So here you can see we have Next.js codes. Here I'm just gonna create a fresh project. Okay, so I'm just gonna type npx create next app. And also guys, we're gonna use TypeScript a lot in this video. Like you would understand each and every single purpose of TypeScript, why we actually use TypeScript with this single tutorial, because this is the easiest tutorial which would allow you to actually know the purpose of TypeScript. We're gonna use TypeScript interfaces everywhere wherever it's needed. Okay, properly. So yeah, here I'm just gonna write @latest. Okay, latest, so it would install the latest version of Next.js, whatever is available. And I'm gonna name this project as shopping app. Okay, shopping cart. Okay, shopping cart app. Okay, and I'm just gonna say yes for TypeScript, yes for ESLint, no for Tailwind, yes for SRC, yes for app router, no for this. Okay, perfect. So you can see that our project has been set up here, very basic project, and what we're gonna do is we are gonna continue with this. Right, so let's wait for a few seconds till then it's completed. Till then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you what exactly are we gonna do today. Okay, so again you can just go here, and here you can see that right now we are in cart page. If I click on this, I'm in home page. You can see this is the product page. So from this page, if I click on add to, you can see right now there are two products. Okay, so if I click on this, and you can see some more products have been added here. Okay, some more products have been added here, right? So you can see some products are definitely added here. You can see they are added here, and now if it's totally up to you, you can increase the quantity like this, right? And you can decrease the quantity like this. Okay, whatever you want. If you want to increase, you can do it like that, right? And if you want to delete something, you can easily delete the quantities from here. Perfect. So that's how the app is working, and now I think the app is also set up. So let's go here. You can see that this app is set up. So I'm just gonna open this directly into my VS Code, this specific project. Okay, this specific project, I'm just gonna open it into my VS Code. Now guys, with the CSS part, I'm gonna go really fast because we have very less time. So I'm gonna like skipping a lot of things, and yes, okay, just a second. Okay, I've opened the wrong project. Yes, this one. Okay, so for the CSS part, I'm just gonna follow the copy paste method so that we can understand the Redux logic fast. So you can check out the code and you can just update the CSS as per your wish. I'm gonna use very easy CSS so that nobody has an issue. Okay, so here guys, what you have is we have the layout, and here we have the page. Okay, so I'm just gonna erase this. I'm gonna erase this. Now what we're gonna do is, first of all, we'll have a division, and here I'm gonna just start with the home page, right away with the home page. So home page is gonna have I'm just gonna say that home page is going to have a heading. First of all, I'm just going to give it a class name. Okay, I'm just gonna give it to class name. And one more thing, I'm just gonna say that it's going to be routed. If I click on this button, I'm just gonna route the user to which page. Just a second, I have to import user router using next navigation, right? And as soon as the user clicks on this button, show products button, I'm gonna take the user to products page. So let's create the route for products. Okay, so I'm gonna create the routes here. So let's say PRODUCTS. Okay, now inside this we have the products page, right? And here I'm just gonna create page .tsx file. Okay, this file. Now we're gonna have one more directory for what? For components. So components. Okay, components. And inside this, guys, we're gonna have the navbar component. So navbar.tsx. You can have more components also, but right now we're just gonna have the navbar component. Okay, so you can see that we have the navbar component. And now, guys, I'm gonna use this navbar component into my layout.tsx, the root layout. So navbar is loaded here. Perfect. Now we have the navbar here, and what else we need is we need the cart page also. So here itself we're gonna have the cart page. So cart, and this is going to store our cart items, right? So suppose we have to name this as page.tsx, and again RAFCE, this is cart page. Okay, so I'm just gonna write here cart page. Okay, cart page, and this is what, this is product page. So RAFCE, and this is what, my product page. So PRODUCT, product page. Perfect. So you can see that I have just named it like this. Now let's test this. So if it's running or not. So let me just start the application by typing npm run dev. So I'm just gonna write here npm run dev. Okay, but before that, guys, I'm gonna install things which are needed for running Redux. Okay, so first of all we need React Redux, npm I React Redux. Okay, you need to install this. Then we're gonna need Redux toolkit for using Redux. Okay, so we're gonna need npm I @redux.js/toolkit. Okay, we are gonna need these two things to run the application. Perfect. Now let's start the application. So I'm gonna type npm run dev. Okay, so here itself, guys, I'm gonna say I'll just go to localhost 3000. The app would be restarted, and you would see a fresh application here. So yes, you can see that right now there is a problem. Okay, so we have to use client at the top wherever you are using navigation. Okay, I'm using navigation here, so I'm gonna write here use client here. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, this is the page right now. If I click on show product, you can see I'm getting to the products page. Okay, and here we actually have a problem, I guess. What's the problem we have? Okay, it's small p actually. So small p, okay, and small c. Okay, right. Now let's see. If I refresh, you can see we are in the products page. Perfect. So I'm gonna remove this default CSS from here. Okay, and the default CSS from here, right? So you can see that this is the normal page. Now if I go back, you can see the home page, and this is the products page. Okay, similarly we have the cart page also. So let me just show you, we have the cart page, right? So you can see this is the cart page. Now, guys, let's first of all design this navigation bar and home page. So for designing the home page, you can see that I've given this class styles.home, and inside this we have a h1 tag, then we have a button. So I'm just gonna say that first of all, in the global CSS, I'm gonna say that remove all default margin and padding. Okay, remove all default margin and padding. So it would remove the default margin and padding. Right now, I would go to page.module.css, and here we'll say that first of all, my home division would be taking full space. You can see minimum height 80 vh and full space, and everything would be in center. You can see everything is in center. If I refresh, you can see everything is fine. Now if I talk about the h1 tag in the home, you can see that it would be styled like this. So you would see that h1 tag is also styled. And now one more thing, that is the button. Okay, so we have the button for home page. Okay, so you can see that, yeah, this is the home page and shopping cart app, and then we have the button. If I click on this, it would take me to the products page. Now let's design the navigation bar. So if I go to the navigation bar, and here, guys, you can assume that we have a quantity of number of items which would come later on. So for that, we'll say we have a division, we have a state here. I'm just gonna say initially there won't be any items. I've just said that there would be 0 items. 0 depicts that 0 number of items are there in cart. Okay, but you can increment, you can add more items to the cart. For with that, this number would also increase. Later on we'll discuss that using Redux. Okay, so now I'm gonna say that we are gonna have a division named as navbar here. Okay, we're gonna have this division named as navbar. Okay, right? So it's gonna take reference from navbar.css. Okay, navbar.module.css. So I'm just gonna create a CSS folder here. So styles folder here. Inside this, guys, we're gonna have navbar.module.css. So navbar.module.css. We're gonna have one more file here, guys, named as cart.module. module.css. When I have one more file here named as product cart, product product card dot module dot css, right? So you can see that these three css files are needed. Now let's go back to navbar.tsx, and here you can see that first of all we have an h1 tag. So I'm just gonna again import router here. So use router would be imported from navigation, and then here we're gonna say that we have a h1 tag which has a text named as e-commerce. You can just write anything, or you can show a picture, also logo of your company. I'm just gonna say if someone clicks on this, I'm gonna take the user to the okay, just a second, I'm gonna write here at the top use client. So use client. Okay, perfect. Now you can see that this is home page, right? If I click on this, you can see this is the product page. If I again click on this, you can see this is again the home page. Perfect, because I have clicked on this and this is taking me to the home page. Now guys, after this we have the cart icon also. So I'm just gonna say first of all we have a division. Okay, then we have one text which would show me the number. So I'm just gonna say span tag and it would show me the number, and I've just given this class as cart count. Okay, and we have one icon also. So for icons we're gonna go to hero icons, and here we have the cart, and inside this I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here, and this would be my cart. Okay, so if I click on this, I'm gonna take the user to cart page. Okay, if I click on this, I'm gonna take the user to cart page. So let's see how it works. So if I first of all refresh, you can see if I click on this, you can see now the user has been taken to cart page. Okay, cart page, right? So if I go back, I need to style this first. So I'll go back to navbar.module.css, and here I'm gonna style a few things. Okay, first of all I'll say that my navbar would be taking full space. It would have some box shadow, some padding, and then justify content space between. So you can see one item would be in left, one item would be in right. Now after this guys, if I talk about the h1 tag, I'm gonna say that my h1 tag would be taking this much style, and then we talk about the svg. So svg would be taking this much style. And then if I talk about cart division, which contains my svg as well as my number, it's gonna be position relative and some margin, right? And right now you would see that it looks like this, and if I just comment this out, you can see that it's taking this much space. Okay, because of my cart count. Okay, so I'm gonna say that my cart count would be taking position absolute, and I want to show it in top right. So I've just simply said top -10, right -10, position absolute, and you can see after that this is going to take very less space, and after that you can see it's in the top because I have given this some styles. Okay, so now I'm gonna remove this, and you can see that the navbar is now also styled. Okay, so now let's go to the products page. You can see this is the product page. If I click on this, I'm gonna take the user to cart page, right? So let's talk about the product page. So show products, and you can see this is the product page. Now let's assume you have some set of products, an array of products. So let's go to the products page, and you can assume that this data is coming from any type of backend, from your backend. Okay, you can assume some products are coming from the backend. So I'm just gonna say that we have an array. So I'm just gonna say cons products, and this would contain my products, right? This would contain my products. So equals, this would contain my products, right? So if I give you example of one of the products, you can say that I'm gonna have a product which has basically this name as product one, some id and some image path. This is a path from Unsplash. You can just write the same path. If I take you there, if I just click on this link, it would just load a random image. You can see it just loaded a random image. By the way, she's I think Megan Fox, my childhood crush. Anyways, so if I just refresh, hopefully it shows some normal images. Okay, so yeah, you can see as soon as I load any image, you can see that I basically get random images. Okay, it's for getting random images. Okay, so now I get this. Okay, I have this, but to use this, we actually need to add this path to our next config mjs. You can see this is next config mjs. We have to add this path here. So I'm just gonna say inside images we have to add this domain, unsplash domain, because we're gonna use this image. Okay, so you just need to add this domain source.unsplash.com, because if you are using some external image, you have to add its source to the domain so that you are allowing this specific image to be shown to your website. Okay, now we have this image. Similarly, we're gonna show different products. So you can assume there are a lot of products, and I've chosen this Unsplash image because I wanted to show something. You can choose different images if you want, but I have just chosen one type of image, which would be random image. Again, similarly product 2, similarly product 3. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy paste my complete products array. Okay, so complete products array, you can see that each product has a name, ID, image path, price and description. Okay, so you can see this is the complete products array, and you can assume that this data is coming from your backend. Okay, this data is coming from your backend. And now guys, we're gonna show that data into our product page, right? Now let's continue. Here what we're gonna do is we're gonna map our products. Okay, so for mapping our products, I'm just gonna say first of all it has a division named as product container. Okay, and inside this we're gonna have something, but first of all let's import the CSS. So we created product card module CSS, we have to just import that. Now after that we have to simply use this. Okay, so for that we're just gonna say that we have to map the products which we have. That's it. Okay, so we are gonna have some products, so I'm just gonna say products.map. Okay, products.map, these products would be mapped. Okay, so for that I'm just gonna say return. Okay, actually we are gonna return directly. First let's close this, and inside this we're gonna just write division. Okay, so it's gonna return directly. Okay, so after that we would just say that we have a class name as product card 1, class name as product card 1, and inside this first of all we're gonna show our image. So for that we have image tag from Next.js, right? So import an image tag from Next.js. I've just given it image path and then width and height. So you would see that guys, now if I just refresh, most probably you must get the image here. Yes, you can see that I am able to get the images. Okay, although they are same images, you can add different images for each product, and obviously from your backend you are gonna get different things like different images. But right now assume that yeah, I use Unsplash to get some kind of link. Okay, now similarly we're gonna have one row which is going to show the product name and price. So we're gonna show the product name and price in this row. So you would see that we have the product name and price. Okay, and we have another row which would be targeting first of all a view button, so that if you want to create a product page, specific product page, you would be adding the functionality into this button. Then we have one more button named as add to cart. So it would actually call my add to cart function. So here we have add to cart function. Okay, add to cart function. Okay, it's actually const add to cart function. Yes, this function. Okay, and it requires what? A product. Okay, add to cart requires a product, so I'm just gonna provide this add to cart a product. Okay, add to cart a product. Now your product's type must also be defined. How can you define that? So you can see that the pattern of the each product is what? Name, ID, image path, price, description, like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna define the interface of it here using TypeScript. So interface and product product. Inside this we're gonna say that the name would be a string, right? Name would be a string, ID would be a number, and image path would be a string, and then price would be a number, and then description would be a string. You can add more fields. Now later on I'm just gonna say that my products would be targeting this specific, okay, product object. You can see this is an object, right? So I'm just gonna say one object would be like this. And also one more thing guys, here I'm just gonna say that we have product and we have an array. So I'm just gonna say this products array would be taking reference from the each object of this product. Okay, each object of this product. Okay, right? So now everything is fine. I've defined the types also. Now what we're gonna say is as soon as you load the data, so you can see you are showing the data here. Okay, so add to cart function is also here. We're later gonna add the functionality inside this function, okay, using Redux. So we're gonna add Redux inside this. So now you can see everything is fine. We're just gonna style this product card. Okay, we're just gonna style this product card page. So for that I'm just gonna go to my product card.module.css, and guys, here we basically have product card 1, right? So we have product card 1. I'm just gonna say we are gonna style this. I just said that it's gonna take 18% width and some box shadow and some border radius. So right now you can see it needs client component. Okay, just gonna go to the products page, and here we again need use client, right? Use client. So now you can see that yeah, each product card has some kind of design like this. Okay, so now we're gonna come back and we'll say that if I hover on this, I'm gonna just increase the size. right? And then if I talk about image inside the product card one, I'm gonna say that image is gonna take the 100% width and some height. If you want to change this, you can just say aspect ratio would be 1 by 1, so it would be making square images. I think it's not making square images, most probably. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna pick the old height, that would be better. Yes, so I think this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Okay, anyways, so now I think what we need is, guys, we can actually increase the height a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more would also be fine. Okay, fine. So now, guys, we have the product container outside the product card. So product container contains all my product cards, right? So product container, and you can see I've just said that it's going to take display flex. That means all the products would be in a row. Flex wrap, that means if there are extra products, would go to the next line, and justify content space between, that means there is equal space, and then there is some gap in between and some margin from top. So you can see that there are 5 products. So you can see it looks like this. Let me just refresh. Okay, so if I add a few more products, for example, if I just assume that there is one more product, okay, just copy this fifth one, okay, and suppose there is sixth product, okay, sixth product, so 6 id 6, and this is it, and suppose the price is this. Okay, so you can see that a sixth product automatically comes into the next line. Okay, or you can do one more thing, from directly from here you can copy paste things here, so you can see that some more products are actually added here. Now one problem is here, obviously you have to deal with this. So what you can do is, either you can bring things in center. Okay, bring things in center, so justify content center. So you can see that looks also fine. So you can see that looks also fine, right? So you can do it like this, or you can just say flex start would also be better. So flex start, so flex start would just show things like this. This is also fine, right? And you can actually do one thing. You can give width little bit more. Okay, you can give just width of 19%. That means there is very less gap. So you can see now it also looks fine. Okay, or you can just skip to 18%. That would also be fine, and you can just give it some you can say margin. Okay, so I'll just say that it has some kind of margin of around 10 pixels from each side. So okay, just cut this and paste it here. So you can see, yeah, now it also looks fine. So that's totally up to you how you're gonna show. I'm just gonna bring it to center. The center is always great. So you can see center is always fine. Okay, so now we have products in center, and now we are gonna say that products card one, that means this row, product 1 and 100, this row is gonna be flex. That means it's gonna be space between and flex. So you can see that this row is basically flex. You can see space between, right? Similarly, I'm gonna style the h2 and the p tag, that means price and the name. Okay, and then I'm gonna style the row 1, that is the add to cart button and the view button. Okay, and then, guys, we're gonna have the buttons inside this specific row. So I've just styled the buttons, and if I hover on these buttons, that means add to cart and view button, I'm just gonna say that the color would change. So you can see that's how it really looks. So I think it looks fine. You can definitely change the style later, but I have made a very basic design. Okay, so now we have the products design. Now similarly, assume that you have items also. Okay, you have items inside this. So let's go to cart page. Okay, let's go to cart page, and here we're gonna have the cart items, right, which would come sometimes. Okay, but right now you can assume that cart is empty initially, but we're gonna have a cart array. Okay, we're gonna have a cart array which would contain cart items. Okay, so each cart item would be actually same as the product. Okay, you can just go to the product page, and here I'm just gonna copy the interface of the product. Just copy this, go back here, and here, guys, I'm gonna paste it. There is one change, that is cart item would have quantity. So cart item, cart item would be having a quantity. So I'm just gonna say that would be having a quantity field. That's it. That's the extra thing which we're gonna have. Okay, so we're gonna say that initially we're gonna have a cart item, and we're gonna say that at the top, first of all, let's make use client, because we're gonna use state or use effect, different kind of hooks of React. So here just type use client. Now, guys, come back, and here I'm just gonna say that we have initially defined cart items which are empty. Okay, there is no cart item initially, there are no cart items, but suppose there are some cart items, I'm gonna show those cart items, right? So you can assume that there are some cart items which have to be shown here. Okay, you are gonna show those cart items here. Okay, so I'm just gonna say as soon as the page loads, I want to show something here. So I'm just gonna first of all import this use effect here, and let's assume let temp cart items, and inside this, guys, we can actually paste the products. Okay, we can actually paste the products. Let's go back to the products, and we're gonna copy this products array. Okay, and we're gonna come here and we're gonna paste here. Okay, and this is what, this is temp cart items. Okay, and this would be suppose coming from your storage, from your redux. Okay, so cart item array, right? And here we just have to add a quantity field also. So suppose the quantity for this is 1, and suppose the quantity for this is also 1, and suppose for this quantity is also 1, and suppose for this quantity is also 1, and let's skip these items for now. Okay, so now you can see we have a cart items array. Now as soon as the page loads, I'm gonna say set cart items. Inside this, I'm gonna pass the cart items which I get from local storage. Okay, so now my cart items inside this. Okay, my cart items are inside this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have three functions here. First of all, first function would be increment function. Okay, so increment function would simply help us to increment the cart items quantity. Okay, similarly, we're gonna have one more function named as decrement function. Okay, so we're gonna have one function for decrement. Okay, similarly, guys, we're gonna have one more function for removing the item from cart. Okay, completely deleting that item from cart. So all of this requires the index of the item which you want to remove, and then from that cart items array, this index would be targeted and the item would be updated. Now we have to say that we have a division. Okay, we have a division named as cart page, and guys, inside this you need to have the css also. So I'm just gonna call the css from the cart module css, right? Now here what we're gonna say is, first of all, this is our cart page, right? So I'm gonna give it a heading h1 tag cart. Okay, then guys, we're gonna say that if there are no items in the cart, so I'm just gonna say cart is empty. Okay, if there are no items in the cart, so I'm just gonna say cart is empty. That means if length is equal to 0, then I'm gonna show it. Okay, and if the length is not equal to 0, so obviously the cart items would come automatically. Okay, so I'm just gonna create a division, and inside this I'm gonna show my cart items. Okay, show my cart items. So here I'll just say that cart items dot map, and inside this we have the items, we have the item. Okay, we have the item and the index of each item, right? Now we're gonna show the cart items here, map the cart items here. How we're gonna do this? We're just gonna say we have a division, and this division would be shown here. Okay, and actually make this normal circular brackets and just close it like this. Okay, so you can see we have a division here. Now inside this, first of all, guys, I'm gonna create one specific section for showing the image as well as the name of the item. Okay, so import the image tag from this place. Now similarly, guys, we're gonna have the second section, that means another section for showing, first of all, the price into quantity. That means price is suppose 400 and the quantity is 2, so you would be showing the quantity, you would be showing the final result as 800. Okay, and then the second thing would be what, three buttons, increment, decrement button. So first of all, I'm gonna show a division like this. Inside this, first of all, we're gonna have a button which would be calling the decrement function, and we are gonna say that this is minus button. Okay, minus text, and once I click on this, I'm gonna call the decrement cart item function. Now similarly, we're gonna have one more span which would show me the quantity, what's the current quantity. Okay, then we're gonna have one more division, one more button for increment cart item. Okay, so you can see increment cart item. Now if I close this, you can see that this is the increment decrement box. Now we have one more svg icon, so I'm just gonna go here and we're gonna have delete. Okay, delete here. So you can see this is the delete icon. I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it here, right? Delete icon. So now if I just show you this, on clicking of this, I'm going to call remove cart item and I'm going to provide that index. So let me just show you this. Now you can see that cart looks something like this. Okay, so we have to definitely style this. Perfect. Now let's go to cart styles. Okay, we're going to go to cart styles and we'll just say that we have to go here, cart styles, and we're just going to say that we have cart and we'll just say that space between, that means we are gonna give it some border bottom and space between, so you're gonna see it something like this, right? And then after this we're gonna say that we have the S1, so again I'm gonna say that again row and align item center, so you can see again row align item center. And then if I talk about the image, I'm gonna decrease the size. Okay, if I talk about the h3 tag, I'm gonna again change the size. Okay, so you can see they look like this. Okay, now if I talk about the right side, that is the h2 tag, I'm gonna style it. Again, if I talk about the increment decrement box, I'm again going to style this. If I talk about the buttons inside increment decrement plus minus buttons, that's styled. And if I hover on this, again styled. Okay, so now you would see that they are styled something like this. Now one more important thing is what? One more important thing is what? We need to style the span also. Okay, span tag which is inside. And then the SVG, that is the delete button. Okay, delete button. We have to style that. And if I hover on that button, I'm gonna say that it's little bit hidden, so you can see that's how it really looks. Okay, and one more thing guys, we're gonna style the cart head, that means the top h1 tag. Can see that the top h1 tag is now styled. And then one more thing, that is the empty cart. Okay, so if the cart is empty, that would also be styled, the tag. Okay, so now everything is done. You can see styling is also done. Now guys, what we have to do is we have to add redux to this. Okay, we have to add redux to this. That means as soon as I click on this, I have to add item to the cart. For that I have to just simply add redux to this. Okay, so for that what you can do is you can watch my previous redux tutorial. Okay, I have already explained that in the playlist of TypeScript Next.js. You can check out the Geeks4Geeks development channel, and for that I'm just gonna copy paste for now, but I'm gonna explain the logic also, how the logic really works. But here what you can do is you're just gonna create a folder named as redux. Okay, and inside this I'm gonna have one more folder named as features. Okay, features. Okay, features. And inside the redux we're gonna have one folder named as provider, so provider.tsx, right? That's what we created that in the last video. And similarly guys, we're gonna have one more file named as store.ts. Okay, TypeScript, this is tsx, that means TypeScript XML, and this is ts. Perfect. Now let's say we're gonna say that inside the features we are having a file named as cart slice, so cart slice, because we're gonna store the cart data inside this redux. Okay, so cart slice.ts, right? Cart slice.ts. So first of all I'm gonna say that importing these things from redux toolkit, and then I'm gonna define the type of the cart object. You can see this is the same object which I defined in the in my pages, normal pages also, right? Now we're gonna say that the initial state of the cart would be empty. Initially the cart would be empty, so I'm just gonna say initially this would be cart item state array and it should be empty. Okay, this is a cart item object and this is an array of cart item object, and I've said that initially it is empty. Okay, initially is empty. Now I'm gonna say create a slice of the cart object. Okay, create a slice of that cart object, and I'm gonna export this into my store. Okay, so I'm just creating a reducer here. Okay, I'm creating a group of reducer. You can say a single reducer, a group of reducer. So I'm gonna name it as cart. Okay, I'm gonna name it as cart. And then guys, I'm gonna name it as initial state also. I need the initial state also. Initial state would be taken from here. Okay, then we need one more thing, that is reducers. Okay, so you can have more than one reducers inside this. Right, I'm just gonna have one reducer which would allow me to update the whole cart. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a method here named as update cart. Okay, just one method here. Inside this what you're gonna say is you're just gonna say action payload. Okay, payload action, and inside this guys I'm just gonna say there, and a new array would come here. I'm gonna replace the whole cart data with this new array. That's it. Okay, I'm creating a very simple function here. It's like if there are 7 items in the cart previously, I'm gonna erase all those 7 items, and again I'm gonna add the new items. I'm gonna add 8 items this time. Okay, what I mean is I would erase the old data and I'll re-add the complete updated data. Okay, it's like I'll erase the cart first and then I'll re-add the complete cart data with new features, new updates. Okay, so inside this what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna return action.payload. Okay, so now you can see there is one problem here, is not assignable. Okay, I think I did one mistake and I have to actually add state here also, state comma. Okay, that's it. Okay, so we don't really need state here because I'm just saying whatever is the array which you get, you're gonna update the state with this value. That means suppose if there were, suppose previously there were 1 2 3 4 items. Okay, 4 items in the cart. Then next time what you did is you added the fifth item. So first of all, I'm gonna erase all those four items. Okay, I'm gonna erase all those four items. Then I'm gonna again add the items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although right now you can see that it looks very lengthy, and you can see I'm erasing the complete array and then I'm adding things again. I just wanted to make this part simple. Here you can have separate increment decrement function also, that won't require you to erase the complete array. Just push the items or pop the items from the array. Okay, that also can be done. You can add different functionalities. But right now I'm creating one function. If I want to remove an item, I'll remove an item and update the whole array. If I want to increment, I'll increment the item, I'll update the whole array. If I want to decrement the item, I'll update the whole array, and then I'll update this, right? Same, right? So now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna export the update cart from cart actions, and we are gonna use it into our page. Okay, into our pages. And one more thing, guys, we're gonna use the reducer. Okay, so again, export the cart reducer. Right now, let's talk about the store.ts. So store.ts is just a place where all the reducers would come. So I'm just gonna import all of these things, and I'm gonna export all of these things. Okay, I'm gonna export all of these things, and I'm gonna create an object for store which would just export all the reducers. So I'm exporting my cart reducer, which we have. You can have multiple reducers also later, like auth reducer or any kind of reducer. Okay, now guys, it is done, and now let's go back to the provider, and we just need a provider so we can initialize our store. Okay, so I'm again gonna say follow the same approach we have already preferred before in the Redux video. Now here we'll just say that we are gonna export this Redux provider. I'm just gonna say whatever HTML page, whatever Redux.js page come inside this is allowed to access this Redux store. That's it. That's what I've said here. Okay, so you can get the code, and this is same for every project. Okay, this is same for every Redux project. You have to implement same for every Redux project. Okay, so now we're gonna close this, and we are going to also now use this into our app layout.tsx. Here we have to initialize our provider because this is root layout. So here we can assume that this is the starting point. Okay, so this page would be starting point. I'm just gonna say my navbar would be, this whole part would be inside my Redux provider. I'm just gonna say that Redux provider would be imported from this Redux @provider, right? And now I think there is one problem here. Okay, no problem. Okay, perfect. Now everything is fine here. What you're gonna do is go to products. Okay, now let's complete the add to cart function. Okay, add to cart function. So for that, we're gonna say that inside products, first of all, you need to call dispatch. Okay, you need to call dispatch, which you exported from your page. Okay, so I'm just gonna import use dispatch, and I'm gonna import app dispatch. Okay, that's it. So you can see that React Redux, and then we have imported the app dispatch, which we have exported from store. Okay, that's it. Now we have one more thing, that is cart array. So we're gonna call the cart reducer which we created. Okay, cart reducer which we created, it would return me the cart array, right? It would return me the cart array, complete cart array. So now I have the complete cart array. That means complete cart items which I have in my cart. Okay, initially this is empty, but you can assume, suppose there are 4-5 items here, so assume that there are some items. Now we have the add to cart function. Okay, and it would just have the product. So we have the add to cart function, it would just have the product which I want to add. So first of all, I'm gonna look if the item is available in my cart or not. So I'm just gonna say const item index equals, I'm going to say that the cart array which I called from my Redux store, I'm gonna find that specific item which I have clicked on. Okay, that means if I clicked on a product, I would find that specific item's index. So I'm just gonna provide that specific product which I have clicked on. I would first of all look that is the ID item dot ID same as the product ID. That means the product which I have clicked on is same as any of the item of this cart array. Okay, is this product already available in my cart or not? Okay, so I'm just gonna say that if product is already available, so what would happen? If item index is not equal -1, that means if product is already available. Okay, product is already available. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna say const updated cart and you have to write it similarly. So you're just gonna write cart array dot map. I'm just gonna say that map each item to this new array. So cart item index. Okay, so new array is updated cart and old array is cart array. Okay, so now I'm just gonna replace this new array with old array. So here I'm just gonna say that first of all increments. I'm just gonna say find that specific index which I'm talking about. Okay, find that specific index which I'm talking about. If that specific index matches, Okay, if that specific index matches, then increment that specific index's quantity. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that keep whole data of that specific item and just increment the quantity. So quantity quantity and increment the quantity, because I'm saying if already item exists, then if I click on add to cart, then I would increment the quantity. Okay, that's it. So you can see I've incremented the quantity, else just return the item if the index doesn't match. Okay, for all other items, and for that specific product you have clicked on, the quantity would be incremented if it's already there in the cart. If it's not there in the cart, what you're gonna do is you're just gonna create a new object. Okay, just like this, you're gonna create a new object. What you're gonna say is you're gonna create a new object. You're gonna say that the initial quantity of that object would be what? 1. So everything would be same as product, the quantity would be 1. Okay, because starting, if once for the first time you clicked on that product, its quantity would be 1 in the cart, right? So quantity is 1. Now one more thing, I'm just gonna say that here itself I'm going to pass this updated cart into my uh, page. Okay, so you can see update cart is exported from where? From my Redux. Okay, from my features. You can see that I've imported the update cart from my Redux features. Okay, and then I have to just paste this. Okay, now I think one problem here, why it is not assignable. Okay, I think we have to check this, what's exactly the problem. Okay guys, one thing which you need to do is we have the cart array, right? So we have the cart array, and right now okay, I did one mistake. Okay, we have to do one more thing here. Just gonna say that we are going to directly return this. Okay, so we're directly going to return this. Now it's fine. Okay, now it's returned perfectly. Okay, so now you can see that dispatch would simply call updated card. I'm gonna replace the new array which I have here with the old array, right? Now what's the problem here? Implicitly of any type. Okay, so cart array. Okay, here I'm just gonna define my cart item also. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm just gonna define my cart item. I'm gonna go to my cart page, and I'm just gonna go for cart items interface. Come here and paste here, and I'm just gonna say that this array would be cart array. Okay, sorry, this array would be cart item array. Okay, that's it, perfect. So now I've defined type for this also, right? So now everything is fine here guys. I've dispatched it, but if I don't have the item, I've created a fresh item for the cart, and I have to update the old array with the new item. I have pushed the new item to the old array, and you can see new array is created, right? Update cart. Again I have to dispatch that. Okay, again I have to dispatch that. Perfect. Now let's see how it works. So for that, what we're gonna do guys is we're just gonna say that if there is an update in cart array in the Redux, I'm just gonna print it. Okay, I'm just gonna print it. So for that, I've simply printed it. Okay, so let's see how it works. So right now you can see it's like this. I'm gonna inspect, and if I go to console, you have this array initially as 0. Okay, so now if I just click on add to cart, you can see now one item is added to the cart. You can see one item is added to the cart, and the quantity is 1. If I click again on this, so you can see again the same item is here, but now the quantity for that item is 2. Perfect. Now if I click on product 2, now you can see 2 items are there. Okay, one is having quantity as 1. Okay, and one is having quantity as 2. That means Redux is now able to store data. Okay, now what we need is we need to show that specific thing into our navbar. We need to show the specific number of items in of our cart into our navbar. Okay, so we can go to our navbar, just go to component navbar.tsx, again paste these things. Okay, and we are simply going to show the quantity of cart array, right? That means the length of cart array, right? So and perfect, and we actually need to show the length of this. Okay, for showing the length, what we can do is we can go to the interface. First of all, copy this and paste the interface here. Yes, so you can see that now we have defined this, and perfect, you can see that yeah, now it would work. So now what we have to do is we just need to say that whenever there is a change in cart array, just update the cart items with the length of that cart array. Okay, so now let's see how it works. So right now you can see that there were no items. If I click on this, you can see that the items are 1. If I click on another one, you can see items are 2, 3, 4. So you can see that the quantity is also changing. Now if I click on this, you can see that now here we just need to show the items. How can we show that? So what we're gonna do is we're again going to copy this part. Okay, again going to copy this part, and we're going to the cart page, and here itself guys we're gonna import these things. Okay, import these things and use dispatch. I'm just gonna import these things. Okay, perfect. And now what I'm gonna say is, instead of this temporary cart items, I'm gonna show my cart array. Okay, cart array. Okay, and it happens whenever there is a change in cart array. Perfect. So now let's go to the home page, product page, and let's add a few items. Okay, let's add a few items. Okay, so you can see I've added a few items. You can see quantity for this is 2 and this is 1. Okay, so now I have to implement the functionality of this increment, decrement, and delete. Okay, how can I do this? So for that we have increment, decrement. These functions are available in my cart, right? So here again I'm just gonna call my one function, that is the, I'm gonna go to the product page, and here we were using the update cart action. Okay, we are gonna call this action into our cart page also. So let's go to the cart page, and we have the update cart action. Okay, now we're going to use this update cart action to just update the quantity. I'm just going to say call the old data from the array. Okay, complete cart items. Okay, call the complete cart items, find that specific index which you want to update the quantity, and re-add that to my local storage. Okay, it's like I'm gonna get the older data. Okay, older data, then I'm gonna increment quantity of that product or item. Okay, then update the cart state in Redux. That's it, that's what we want. Okay, that's what we want. So what we're going to say is, since we have this function named as increment cart item, so it would allow me to increment cart item, right? So we're just going to say that again I'm just going to create a temporary array. So I'm just going to say let temporary cart items. Okay, so I'm just going to store my cart array here. So cart array dot map, and inside this guys I'm just gonna say that items comma index. Okay, and here you would just say that if the index matches, okay, if the I matches with my index of the item which I've clicked on. Okay, the card which I have clicked on, I'm just saying the card which I have clicked on matches with that specific index of my cart array. Okay, if that match, that means I have found that specific item whose quantity I want to update. Okay, so I'll just say that keep all the features of that item, that means name, whatever product image, whatever, keep all the features. For that I'm just gonna write dot 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 item keep all the features, but in the quantity field, quantity, in the quantity field just increment the quantity. So I'm just gonna say get the old quantity item dot quantity and increment the value by 1. Okay, but if the item doesn't match with the index, so I'm just gonna say just return the item. Okay, that's it. So now you can see that's how it's gonna update. And now once things are updated, you are gonna dispatch. Okay, you're gonna dispatch. Okay, I think the naming was incorrect. Okay, so let's make it camel case anyways. Okay, so you can see that right now cart is empty. Let's add some items. If I click on add cart, okay, now you can see one item is added. Now if I click on increment, you can see I'm able to increment. Okay, perfect. Now if I go to other page, and again now if I go to show products, again if I click on add to cart, you can see that now the quantity must be 8 here. Perfect. Now you can see it's working perfectly. Now similarly guys, we need the decrement function also. So for the decrement functionality, we are again going to do the same thing, but this time it's going to be -1. How we can do that? I'm just gonna say that if item is like this, so I'm gonna decrement the value, and I'm also going to say that if quantity is 1, then I must not be allowed to decrement further. So for that I'm gonna add one more thing, that is if quantity is greater than 1, then only I'm allowed to decrement, else I'm not allowed to decrement. That's it. Okay, so now you can just go into e-commerce. Here you're just going to click on add to cart again. So you can see that we have 5. Okay, so if I decrement, you can see it's decrementing. Okay, I think we did one mistake. Okay, we have done one mistake, guys. For this, okay, accidentally I just changed this one. Okay, so just a second. Accidentally I just changed this data. Okay, so decrement. Okay, decrement cart item. Uh, just a second. Okay. anyways, so I'm just gonna cut it and I'm gonna paste it here, and I'm just gonna cut this and we're gonna paste it here, and one more thing, yes, cut it and paste it here. Perfect. So now this is going to work perfectly. Okay, so now if I go to e-commerce, show products, let me just add a few products. Okay, I've added 3 products. Now you can see all of the quantity is 1. If I click on minus, you can see it's not decrementing because it's 1 already. But if I increment this, now if I try to decrement, you can see it's done, but for 1 quantity it's not decrementing, right? So this is also working perfectly. Now what else you need to do is you simply need to show this. You can see right now I've added this item, so add to cart, and now you can see that what I need to do is I need to delete items. How you can delete items? For that we have the remove cart. So we are just gonna splice that item. So I'm just gonna say bring that old array. Okay, bring that old array. Now just splice that specific index which you have clicked on, and then update that to your Redux. Okay, update that to your Redux. So you can see if I go to e-commerce, show products, now let's add products. Okay, some products would be added. Now you can see some products are here. Now if I click on increment, you can see that this would increment the products. Perfect. Now suppose I want to decrement, it would decrement the products. Suppose I want to delete, I can delete the products easily, right? So you can see guys, that's how your whole logic would work. Okay, whole logic would work. So you can see that it's working perfectly. If I add product 1 2 times and product 2 only 1 time, you can see product 1 is added 2 times, product 2 is only added 1 time. Now if I increment this, it's working perfectly, right? There is no problem with this logic. Okay, and also you're gonna say that right now if I refresh, then data is gone. Obviously your data would be gone because Redux is a temporary storage which acts as a storage for all components. It's like it's gonna provide all data to each and every page, home page, about page, contact page, until the pages are refreshed, until the whole websites are loaded. Okay, so there's no question the data would be removed as soon as the page loads. But it's like if you have e-commerce page, if you add something from this page, okay, if you have added something from products page, and you can see at the real time data is updated here, and the real time updated here also. That means in a component and 2 different pages data is being updated. That's happening because of Redux, right? So guys, that's the purpose of Redux which we have used today. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the source code to GitHub so that you can use this. Okay, so just wait for a few minutes. I'm going to upload this. For that I'm just going to type cd. Okay, let me just close this. cd dot dot. Okay, and then I'm gonna type git add dot git commit m, and this is what shopping cart. Okay, and then I would just push, so git push. Right, so now guys, the source code is uploaded to my GitHub repository. Definitely you can use it in any e-commerce platform or any kind of logic which you want to build in future. What I've done is, you can see if I click on e-commerce, okay, I've closed the project, but what I've done is if I click on the product, if I click on the cart, if I click on any cart, the cart would be added to my cart section. Okay, that specific product would be added to my cart section, and I can update the quantity and things like that. You can watch the video from start, you'll update, you'll understand everything. Right, now let me just go here and okay, I'll just close this project now. So I'm just going to go here, and in the repositories guys, what you would see is you have TypeScript, Next.js, GFG. Here the complete source code is available. You can mark it as a star. Okay, and in the Next.js codes you would find today's source code. You can see shopping cart application, right? Now the source code is available. You can check out this and you can have fun, and all the previous video source code is also available. Now guys, I have completed my basic projects. In the upcoming video, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a MERN project. That means we're going to use MongoDB, Express, Next.js and Node.js. Okay, we're going to use this. Okay, that means you can say instead of React.js, we use Next.js. So it's a MERN stack project. We're going to build that. And what's the project? It's basically a file sharing application, just like you might have used Nearby Share in Samsung or Zender mobile app. Similarly, we're going to create a website which would allow me to share file between me and you very easily. Okay, so we're going to build that project from scratch, complete front end and back end. So it would be a long project for 4-5 sessions. So you can watch that for the next 4-5 sessions. And for building the base, you can watch all my previous videos in TypeScript Next.js playlist, and also you can watch one more playlist named as 15 days of backend development. Okay, so you can watch that playlist also, you would understand everything, right? So now the source code is uploaded. You can check out this by typing github.com/viraj014. You can follow me on Instagram or LinkedIn if you want to contact me, and also you can follow me on GitHub. So that's it for today, guys. Do check out this 390 challenge from Geeks for Geeks, and last few days are left for this in the month of January. This offer is applicable. If you purchase any course from us in the month of January and you finish the course within next 90 days, that means 90% of the course within next 90 days, so you get 90% of the amount as a refund. Okay, so do check out this. I hope you can find good courses, right? So that's it for today, guys. I will see you in the next one. Till then, see you, have a good day. Bye bye.